The global food supply was already in a fragile state before the crisis in Ukraine, due to global warming as well as supply chain disruptions caused by the pandemic.
You got to realize that even prior to the invasion, global food stocks were tight. That is, we had run down levels over the last couple of years. Part of that due to the pandemic, but some of it due to the fact that we had weather issues. We had a drought in the North America that affected the wheat crop last year in Canada and parts of the U.S. We're just coming out of a drought in South America, which has adversely affected the Brazil soybean crop. And Brazil's, the largest soybean exporter in the world.
Coming right out of that kind of historic disturbance of the world, boom, we're hit with a really huge geopolitical event.
In response, food costs have climbed to its highest level in nearly 2 years, while prices for commodities like wheat and corn have reached the highest it's been in a decade. The U.S. Department of Agriculture predicts that food-at-home prices will see an increase of up to 4% by the end of 2022.
The United States is already experiencing very high inflation on food and energy prices. There is no question that the war in Ukraine will accelerate the increase in prices in both commodities, that is food, the bread you buy in your grocery store, the gasoline that you have to put in your car or truck.
The United States is a net exporter of a lot of the grains that we're talking about. Those exports are affected by world prices. So we're still going to see increased prices. And again, energy prices are world prices as well, and those are going up.
What I worry about every day is that this common knowledge that, we will not suffer because the world has enough food is maybe coming under question if this war goes on for a long time or we strain the supplies, and that the less developed world, which has fewer resources, let so many people squander this opportunity. And I'm just hoping that the world's development community uses this as a wake-up call to do more.
Welcome back to Seed Time and Harvest. Today we're at Sister Jennifer's house. We're going to help her get a raised bed in. We're gonna get the plants in right now. We're gonna put 1 tomato per square. We're actually gonna try to fit 2, but we'll see. And we already watered the plants prior to transplanting. You always want to make sure that you water the plants.
And if possible, in the morning or afternoon, not midday.
Right.
So what you got there?
These are all tomatoes, different variety of slicing tomatoes. Tomatoes, you want to avoid the leaves touching the dirt. So I'll just pick off the leaves that are touching the dirt, and you can always bury them. Next, we're going to move on to the lettuce. We're going to put 4 in each square. And we're going to have 3 squares of lettuce. Here we have an eggplant. I'm going to put in the eggplant next. gets its own square.
Why does that one get its own square?
Because eggplant is really big and it needs the root space. So some plants need their own space. We have some peppers here. We're gonna put 2 per square. They'll support each other. I think we have a banana pepper, a jalapeno pepper, and then we have some bell peppers.
Now, some people said to take out the swirls on the roots, and I see you don't do that. Can you say why?
I mean, you can unravel the roots, but I don't want to damage the roots, and so I just leave them in place. They'll find their way in the soil. They'll make their way around.
Some more juice.
Fine.
With it in there.
Carrots.
Oh.
I guess we'll have carrots.
Even though I start them in these things, I never like to keep the plants in there.
Oh.
I always like to take it out.
What is that? It's like
It's a peat pellet. It's good for starting seeds because it's just all peat moss. But when I transplant, I like to remove it.
What are those right there?
These are more carrots. These are the ones that were recently started. So we have older carrots, then young carrots, and then I'm gonna put some seeds in. We have some spinach we already planted, but once those are harvested, you can plant some more. We have radish also. We're gonna be putting some radish, so once those are harvested, here's some more seeds and more bush beans, golden bush beans, and we also have beets and carrots that we're gonna give to you. So we have all these beets, so once you harvest from one square, then you can plant more, so you'll always have. And with the carrots, you don't really bury them. You just sprinkle them on top. And then you can thin them out as they grow. It's best to cut the top instead of pulling them. We're gonna do the onions.
I still
Are
feel
those green onions or bulb?
Bulbs.
This is what you call scallion?
No, onion. These are actual onions.
Okay.
Axel.
How long do they take to harvest?
The onions will probably take the longest of everything in the garden. You need about 6 months. The first thing you're gonna harvest would be your radish. Those will be in about 2 weeks.
Is there a mesh that you can put over this?
You can get a shade cloth.
The only ones that really need the shade are the lettuce.
Lettuce.
Everything else needs full sun. And perhaps the spinach.
Thank you so much for joining us at Seed Time and Harvest. And if you need help with your garden too, you can always reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to come by and assist. God bless. Take care.